all our pivot points are in place, and now we want to start rigging this up. So to do that, we're just gonna open Duik, and then I'm gonna select all the pieces of the arm. Let's do that. So I'm gonna tell Duik this is an arm, so I'm gonna click on this little cog over here. Oh, let me just explain what tab I'm in. The bones tab on Duik Angela. So if you open Duik Angela and you got this and you're looking at these tabs, I'm over here in the bones tab. Go over to humanoid and I just click this cog by arm, so I can tell it I don't want any of these labeling, say none. It's going to be a right hand. I don't really want the shoulder, so I just want the hand, form and the arm. So let's click that. And there it gave it to me. So now just move this over the hand. So now I got my bones for this hierarchy. And what we can do with this is, if I select my arm, I can then go in parent. So without even having to pick up, just select it off the list. So the upper arm will just be named arm. And then we got my right arm lower, it's my forearm, right fist on my hand. So now if I move these bones around, you can see they are now parented to the skeleton that you built us. Nice. Okay, there are more hands. I did create more hands. This will be a part of everything that I'm uploading. So just open this, just show this quickly. So you can see the fists in these different positions, different angles, the hand in different angles, open hand, more relaxed hand, and these iconic web shooting hands. These can just be duplicated and swapped around depending on which arm is using web shooting from, and can be easily added on afterwards, which we will get into when we're at that point. Okay, so once your arm is made, so a lot of people prefer not to have arms IK'd so that they can have nice more expressive posing with the arms, and not be, because sometimes some people feel the IK can be a bit limiting for certain poses. But I just want to show this part if you don't know this already. So I just want to IK this arm quickly. So to IK the arm, there's a little button here called auto rig. So literally you just select from top to bottom all the parts that connect with the arm, click auto rig, and Duik will then IK the arm for you and give you a little handy controller that goes with it. He's busy doing the things. Yeah, so it gives you a little handy controller, excuse the pun, gives you a little controller that goes with it. So now if I move this, you can see my arm is now IK'd. So if at any point you're animating and you do not want to use the IK, especially if you want, if you feel you're not getting the pose you want from this IK, you can always just turn the IK off. So you see over here in my effects controls panel, I can disable the IK. I can go to this FK drop down and then control the arm with forward kinematics. All these can be keyed, so I get this nice angle controls to still control the arm as if there's no IK on. And you can even animate the IK off and on, so maybe certain sections is easier to do with an IK enabled, so you get like a more natural feeling arm when he's doing stuff. and then turn the IK off for other section when you want it to be a more expressive pose that the IK doesn't allow. So far the IK, in my experience, I could do insanely expressive pose with the IK. Now and then I think when I'm going, I think when the arms are, if I want to suddenly go from his arm is angled this way and lifting up, and then it goes that way and bends the other way. To have a nice smooth flip, I would disable the IK, animate FK, and then re-enable the IK for a nice smooth flip. To change the orientation, we're going to go to this auto swing, and then you just want to enable the reverse. I think you have to enable auto swing, yeah, and then it swaps the orientation of the arm, so now it bends the other way. And that's the arm. So you will see with the other rig, the controller didn't sit on the hand as it does here. So the way I achieve that is I open this icon drop down, and then I just move the icon off of the artwork. So you want to do this so that you can, it doesn't obscure the hand, especially if you're doing animations on the hand or swap. So you're making sure that your wrist is connected, because at some point you might just move your art off or something happens and your wrist disconnects, and you don't want that to come out in your render. You want to see that before you render and fix mistakes like that. Before you go too far, even before you animate it too far down the line. Now you have a bunch of keys with a broken wrist or broken elbow. You don't want anything obscuring your artwork like that. I like to change the colors of these controllers. So as you can see, I like to color code everything, like I explained with the head. So it's good to make the right arm green, and maybe make left red. You can change these colors to whatever you want, whatever's easier. Eventually I'm going to turn these bones off as well, but for now I'm going to leave them on, just so it's easier to just select them and then paint them later. So let's just do this other arm quickly. So I select all these pieces, go to Duik Angela, open up the left arm. So because I already did the right arm, Duik Angela immediately just swapped this to left. So I can click that. It's going to build me a nice arm. Cool. And even placed it over the first the same way I did that one. I select all the left arm pieces that it built, click auto rig, get another IK. Let it just work. Cool. So same as the other one, I move this off of the artwork, change the color. So let's make this one red. And there we go. So now let's do our leg. Select all our leg pieces. Humanoid leg. So let's just turn this off. You can keep these labels on if you want. If you wanted to say it's a front leg or back leg, by all means. The names don't really affect how the rig works. It's just so it's easier for you. I don't normally turn the toes option on because I don't like I like to have a bit more freedom when it comes to like the hands, the actual digits of the hand, and the actual hand drawing itself. Same with the feet. I want to be able to manipulate the feet and not have any controllers to deal with. So the only controllers I want to deal with is the actual controller that controls the IK of the leg. The foot itself, I want to have full control of the foot. But if you like, if you don't mind, you can build the foot rig. The only thing also with the foot rig for me, if the character is changing orientation, then the foot rig doesn't change orientation nicely with the character. So for me, that just puts a limitation on the rig. So if you're just doing one view, having a foot rig makes sense. If your character is going to go into multiple views like we plan, having a foot rig doesn't really make sense. So yeah, So we got that. Pull all these together. Auto rig this guy. Let it build. I'm gonna keep these real time just so you guys can see that there is like a little bit of a wait time when you auto turning things into IK. Maybe your machine is way faster than mine. As I said, I only have like 16 gigs of RAM, so mine isn't the fastest, but it's fast enough for me to do most things that I needed to do. I will be upgrading in future, so yeah, won't be slow forever. So we got our first foot, so let's test it out. It's good. Let's do this. Let's do this one next. Okay, so we got it left. Okay, then we select all these pieces. Let's IK this one. I'm gonna timestamp all these when I upload this video, just so that if for most of you that already know this bit and already know how to rig the characters, this part of rigging characters in After Effects, or rigging characters with Duik in general, then you can just skip ahead to the parts you actually really want to watch, like the body swap, body rotation, hand swap, so on and so on and so on. Okay, move the icon off. Change the color. Cool. So we still need to parent our arms. So let's go where our arms are. So these aren't parented. So let's go. Left arm should be parented to the left arm. So over here, so I can see because of the L's. 4. And if this becomes too much for you, then it's probably best to like parent them as you make them, so don't get too confused. Which is what I should have done, but all good. I just look for the R's and I look for thigh, leg lower. Right, looking in the wrong section. Calf, foot. There we go. All these bones will always have a B in front of them, so that's how I can identify them in the stacking order. Left thigh. Where are you? Over here. Okay. Left calf. Left foot. Ah, wrong thing. To the P. There we go. I don't know why my foot is not. Oh, I turned off the continuous rasterize when I did the puppet build. Okay, cool. Now we can test this out. Moves fine. What you want to do as well, check, I forgot. You want to turn off the auto stretch. So with auto stretch on, if I stretch, you see all the pieces split away. And if I turn off the auto stretch, it will snap the pieces back. I think it's just the foot. But at least I can see when, how far not to go. So that helps a lot. So you just want to turn off turn off auto stretch on all your controllers. unless you like auto stretch being on, like you can leave it on. Me personally, I turn them off. Cool. So now we got all of that. So these controllers that Duik made is a bit big, so I just want to show how we can edit all of them at the same time. So I select all these controllers. So I go to Duik Angela. So when you're in the bones menu, you can see as an icon that says bone settings. So you can open that up. Oh wait, this isn't bones, this is controllers. So we want to go to the controllers menu. So this hand icon. So we go to controller settings, and I want to change the size. So I'll highlight icon size, and let's go 50% of its size and click apply, and that will now adjust the size of my icon. So I think that is a nice size. I think that is fine. Cool. So this is how you can like adjust a lot of icons at the same time. Also the color and opacity and so on, and the name, all easy from this panel over here. So this for the controllers, and the bones have their own one, bone setting, so you can change the size of these bones as well. Okay, so we have our limbs all rigged up, so now it's time for the body. So with the body, let me just find that. So we got this, we got the neck. I don't think I moved the neck's anchor point. Okay, it's the neck. And then torso. Torso over here. So again, that, let's just save this. So let's do Miles Rig version 3. Let's do that. Always save your work. Save as many times as you can. So yeah, I see I didn't put a marker for where the pelvis, the torso rotates from. So let's just make one quick. So move this here. I think that's a good place for this to rotate from. Well, let's move it a bit lower, actually. So you see how I can test my rotation. So that looks fine. So we can see it looks okay with the hips. It's not making too much of a bulge. I think that's okay placing. So I can do these little edits and tests inside of Illustrator, save, and then see them update here inside of After Effects. Okay, so that is updated. So now we can select our torso. So I don't want the web pattern. Torso, and let's move this over here. Cool. And our pelvis. So I just want to solo our pelvis. I think the pelvis, that's fine for the pelvis. Let's just move it a bit lower. Put its pivot point over there. Okay, cool. Again, I just want to repeat that you do not have to create your artwork in Illustrator. You can make it in Photoshop. If you make any edits in Photoshop, it will also auto update inside of After Effects. So yeah, you don't have to use Illustrator. Illustrator is just so that it's easier for you guys to edit after the fact without any digital painting knowledge or anything. This hand, I just want to swap the direction of that hand. So if you want to change the direction of that, you can when you select the controller, effects controls, is a option that says flip. You can just flip it the other way. So now we have our right and our left. Okay, so with the body again, we just want to select humanoid, spine, So on default, there's usually 3. I change it to 2. I think that's because I only have like 2 pieces to my body aside from the neck and my hips. I have my hips, so I have my head, my neck, my upper body, my torso, and my pelvis. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So unless you're gonna have like your chest separate and then this section of your upper body separate and then that section of your torso, that's the only time you'll need like 3 pieces. So that gives your body a lot more flexibility in this section, but I didn't see it necessary. Maybe it would actually look really amazing on Miles if this was broken up into 3 pieces. Maybe I do another build like that where we can see that flexibility. But from the little tests I've done, poses with the other rig, I think I didn't need it that much. But yeah, if you want to give it a try, you can always split this, not the shadows, you can always split this into another piece. So if we get here, just so you can see, you can duplicate this and just mask out the chest area and split this into 2 different pieces, and then you can have like 3 pieces to the spine. But for now, the way it is, we're just doing 2 pieces. So let me just deselect everything. Let's just build this. So the Illustrator file I'm going to upload will have all the markers there now. So as you can see, some of the markers disappeared, probably while I was working around with it, But now all the markers will be there when I upload. So I built this on its own just so I can show you, if you do want to make custom bones and you want to learn how to move them around, you always want to move it around from the one that's sitting at the bottom. So from the parent, you don't want to rotate these into place, you want to position these into place. So when I move the child, you will see the parent rotates, and I move this child, you'll see that parent rotates. So say this was an arm, I would move this over here and then pull this down to where the pivot point is, and then pull this down. So not rotate, because the rotation information is what you're animating, not the position of these bones. So you don't want to put any rotation information on these guys. So I'm going to move this to where my pelvis anchor point was, which is over there. So let me just pull a guide. So I use Control R for a guide, Command R on a Mac, just to bring up guides. So I just did that so I can snap this to there for my pelvis. Okay, take that away, and then my torso is over there, and then my spine bone pivot is over there, and my neck pivot over there, and my head pivot, as we said, center of the chin, and tip I just pull over for the length of the head. So there we have that. So now we can go and IK this up. So you will see when I IK this, so if we go to Angela and we do an auto rig, we will get controllers specific for these bones. So that's why I don't do the custom bone so much if I'm going to do IK, because if you select from the humanoid or whatever creature you want to rig, and you do it from one of these options, when you do it auto rig, then Duik will create controllers for each body part, for each bone actually. So as you can see, it's busy doing it. Yeah. So now I myself don't need to go and put these controllers in. If you're doing it with an auto rig, not auto rig, sorry, with a custom, putting in custom bones, so your own amount of bones for certain sections and stuff, and you click auto rig, it will still give you an IK, but it will give you the generic controllers. So if I go over here, let's close this. So it'll give you like one of these, just like a generic control, not like these ones that look specific to the body part. Okay, so you can see they all look a bit bunched together. So let's move these around. So effects, controls, position. Let's just move this over here. This is fine. This controls the shoulders and neck. Chest, I want to move this a bit up. Position over the chest. I think the spine is fine where it is. This body controller, this controls the whole upper body and the hips actually. So if I want to pull the entire character down, this controls like all this whole hierarchy. This, it serves as the parent for this whole hierarchy. So what we want to do, we want to move him way off the rig and not obstructing the hand. So as you can see, it still has like this bounding area over there. So to make sure that doesn't interfere with the hand, I'm just gonna move this way down in the stacking order, like way down. So there, the bottom where all my bones are, because I don't, if it's not there, I don't want to have to select. So if I'm moving here, I don't want to accidentally select my body every time I want to select the hand. So now even if I deselect and I go back here, I can still select my hand and then select that. Or if it's the other way around, if this is sitting right at the top and my hand just happened to cross over that bounding area, I will select the body controller all the time by mistake. And you see it doesn't want to allow me to select my hand because there's a bounding box over it. Then I will have to go select my hand manually, or just lock this control and select my hand. But for ease of use, we're going to move him all the way to the bottom of all our bones. So this way our markers layer serves as a nice divider, so we can see where it is. Since all our pieces are already there and rigged up, we can turn this layer off for now. So let me move my hand back into place. Cool. And now we want to test that everything works. Let's just rotate the head. I didn't parent everything in. So okay, so our head composition, let's just parent that to our head bone. So I'm not parenting anything to controllers. I parent everything to the bones that were made. So head to head, our neck to our neck bone. So again, remember, look for B. Torso to torso. I think it's upper body to torso actually, sorry. And I think torso to spine. So I don't know the naming. On Duik it names this bone torso and names the bottom one spine. You can change the naming in your layers to suit to match with Duik, but for me it's like I know, so I call it upper body just for easy to identify, but just remember to connect your upper body to the torso, connect your torso to the spine that was built. And then pelvis, I think there's no pelvis, but there is hips. It's over there. So now if I move these controllers, you can see I can move my hips. Nice. I can move my chest. Nice. And I can move my head. So you can see side to side or rotation. And for my shoulders and neck, just move shoulders and neck. And I can pull this down, it will duck, and I can pull this also down. So this one doesn't really affect the head and the neck. Pull this, I can pull the neck down the head, pull this, only the head. And again, controls are a bit big, so let's just select them all. Let's go to our controller settings again. The 50% still highlighted. Let's click apply, and I think that's an okay size. Maybe this we don't want to be, maybe let's make this one 70%, or let's keep it its original size. Yeah, I think this is fine, that size. Let's move this controller a bit higher. Okay, so now that we have all our controllers in place, what we want to do is we want to parent our shoulder bones and our hip bones to our body bones. So what we're going to do with that, so we're going to select our right arm bone, and we're going to parent that to our torso bone. So also our left arm bone, parent to our torso bone. Our right thigh bone, we're going to parent to our hips, and our left thigh bone, parent to our hips. So now when we move our hips, you can see that we're getting some action. And when we move our chest, and then when we move this, so if you're going to try and pull the hips down, it's going to disconnect the body, because the hips only affect this area, the chest only affects that area. If you want to pull the entire body down, you want to pull this. So the parent of all the body controllers is called the body control, and there you can make him sit down. If you want the hands to move along with this, you can parent the hands to this controller. I'd suggest you don't do that, so that if your character is doing something and you want to keep the hands in place, just then don't parent the hands to anything. Cool. So now that everything is rigged up, we can now turn all our bones off. So everything labeled B, you can shy them away and turn them off, and you can lock them now. So shying them away, if you're unfamiliar with shying, it just means if I turn on this shy, we call it the shy guys. If I turn on the shy guy icon, it will just remove it from view. It's still there, but it just disappears in the stacking order. So if I go and I look for all, so everything that's not important, so these they're already shy, but I can lock that. I'm only looking for C. C's for the controller, that's all I need. Everything else we can shy away. So leg tip, we can shy that, lock it, turn it off. These bones, shy, turn off, lock. Okay, these over here, can lock these guys, shy, turn it off, lock. And just rinse and repeat, just until you shied everything away. Yeah, because at the moment, like the more we're adding, you can see this, we're just getting layers upon layers upon layers. Even all of these, let's just shy these all for now. Because at the end of the day, like when we're done rigging, all we're gonna want to see are these controllers. So see now with my shy guys activated, all we see are these controllers. You can even go further and shy away these controllers that you don't want to see. So like this controller I can shy. And certain controllers, if you don't want to see any other controllers, you can just shy those as well. But yeah, this is generally what you want to see when you're animating. Just these controllers, well, the ones important to moving the body around. Once we're happy with that and we have all our stuff in place, then we just want to zero these controllers. So I always make another controller I call the master controller. So let me just save. So if we go, we just close this. So on our controllers tab, I just choose one of these. Doesn't matter which one. Just choose one that you think best represents a master control for you. For me, that's this one because it shows it has all the directions and rotation. So I'll put that over there, and I name this one master. So I want to parent all of these to that. So these are both my legs, the controls for my legs that control the IK, my arms, and my body. So now if I want to position him within the rig's composition, I can move my master around or move him, and I will still be able to move my rig around independent of where it is on the screen. Okay, so once we're happy with that, we're just going to want to zero all of these. So especially with the arms and the legs, you would like there to be rest positions for arms and legs so that you can easily just hit 0 on the position to bring them back to where they were, to their rest point. So yeah, to zero all these, we just want to select these controls that we want to zero, including the master, including that one. So we want to go to our constraints panel over here, and then you just want to click 0. So what this does, it's going to freeze all our, it's not freeze, let me not say freeze, it's going to create a rest position for each one of these controllers, so that even when we move it and we want to bring them back to rest, we just hit P on our keyboard for position, change whatever position we're moving back to 0, and they will snap back to their rest position. Same with the arms, and just snaps back to rest. So your rotation will already be zeroed, so you don't have to zero your rotation. So rotation always starts at 0, so that's fine. Position, there we go. Okay, so this is a base rig already. In most cases, if you're animating and your character doesn't have like a lot of facial stuff, or you manually animating the facial stuff, facial features, this is good enough to go, especially if you only have one view. In a lot of explainer videos, this is good enough. If your character is just moving in one position, moving in one view, this can work for most cases. So you can rig any angle of the body, so you can bring in, if you started with his profile, you can rig the profile like this exactly the same, quarter front like this exactly the same. That's if you want to do it individually, and or say you're working with a different character and it doesn't really have angles and you just need to rig one angle. This is a good step-by-step way to go about doing it. Okay, so now on to the more advanced stuff.